Black Myth Wukong is one of those games that's just so good that it's remembered and referenced back to whenever a discussion on great games comes up. Much like The Witcher 3, although not open world, Black Myth Wukong offers the Destined one so much content and pure value. And it just got a whole lot better. Recently, Black Myth Wukong got about a 6 GB update, and with it came a whole new reason to start a brand new playthrough or continue your current one. I'm talking about the new game modes, Gauntlet of Legends and Return of Rivals. After completing the game fully, one time, on your next playthrough, you'll see a challenge tab at any shrine as you play. The Gauntlet of Legends mode allows the Destined one to battle multiple past opponents in a ladder that climbs with every fight to the next foe. You can select modifiers such as It Is What It Is, which will make it so all the opponents you're about to face will be unaffected by Forbane effects, or Sewn Mouth, which makes all on-hand medicines unavailable during each fight, or ones like Time's Ticking, which will give you a set time to beat all the opponents, and if you can't in that time, then it results in an immediate fail. That's not even a crazy one like Off With Your Head, which makes it so your maximum health is reduced to the initial value, and that's only a few of them, and there are tons, so be sure to scroll through all of them and read them very carefully before selecting them. Something I do want to note that I really liked about this was the fact that you fight each of these bosses in both the Return of Rivals and the Gauntlet of Legends modes in their actual boss arenas, instead of some generic training ground looking simulation or like some very clear just basic battle arena. This kind of took me back to when I first fought all these bosses, which was cool for nostalgia, but it also let me re-experience the landscape and catch little things about the environment that I didn't before because I was so focused on the boss. As for the gauntlets that I tried, I played the 3 Tigers, the 4 Longs of 4 Waters, and the Shadowy Assembly. The first thing I noticed was how much stronger all of the bosses were. I'm talking way more health and the ability to 2 or 3 tap me even at level 130 plus with over 900 health. I'll definitely admit I wasn't expecting that much of a challenge, but it's nice to see since personally many of the base game bosses felt super easy to practically mow through with my pillar stance build that I kind of just randomly slapped together. There weren't really more than, I'd say, 10 or so bosses out of the 95 that I fought that really gave me a run for my money. So now, seeing basically any boss being able to drop me in an instant has me on my toes and completely rethinking how I go about the fight. And I like that a lot. Every game I play, I always choose the hardest difficulty for one of 2 reasons. One, I'll admit I'm a little stubborn and I think, oh, it can't be that hard, which does not translate well to Souls-like games. Yes! 160 deaths. And for 2, because I just love a challenge. I genuinely love overcoming something truly difficult. And although I was getting absolutely body slammed from the top ropes with basically every boss fight, I still had an absolute blast. I also found it super fun to try and learn what new move each boss was going to do, because these modes didn't just add a new difficulty. Oh, no. They also added a new move or 2 for a plethora of the bosses. And some of them are actually pretty crazy. I would also like to mention how nice it is that we can actually get new items from this game mode. And this ranges from curios to medicines, medicine recipes, and even some new drinks and soaks. There are also opportunities to make new weapons such as the Jing Mallet, Fang Scion Staff, and the Leeching Centipede Staff. Now, onto the Return of Rivals mode. Instead of fighting multiple bosses shortly after one another like you do in the Gauntlet of Legends mode, this mode offers just a humble 1v1 between you and your biggest ops. Now in this mode we don't get those really cool modifiers, but you do get actual challenge tiers. And yes, of course, when I saw shiny red, I had to click it. This resulted in me getting absolutely steamrolled by the gold armored rhino. I didn't think it was possible for me to take so much damage while also doing practically none myself. I'm also eager to hear your thoughts on these modes, so if you guys have any thoughts, whether you've played them or not, let me know in the comments. But now these modes aren't the only things that shipped with this update. We have probably one of the coolest yet simplest additions, and that's a map. Something players wanted so badly since the moment the game dropped. Well, now it's here. It's called a Journeyer's Chart, and it will show you the entirety of that specific chapter you are on, showing you each segment of that chapter, while also giving you the ability to fast travel to each shrine without having to be at a shrine itself like you normally do. You're able to get a Journeyer's Chart for each chapter, and the way to do it is just by going to a shrine, going to the store tab, and then clicking buy with your in-game will points, and then boom, you have that chapter's map. Then to use it, just press M on your keyboard or whichever button it is on controller, and you'll see the map come up on your screen. Now, yes, since this is new, if you're in, say, chapter 3 and you want the chapter 2 map, just go to any shrine in chapter 2 and buy it. I also want to mention how much I like that these maps also show the secret areas in the chapters that have them. And in order to see them, just press C on your keyboard or whichever button it is on controller, and this will allow you to filter through the locations that you discover within that chapter. I feel like this is going to be an absolute game changer for guides too, because you can also mark locations on the map, and you can even change the ping to a couple of different icons. So let's say, for instance, you're like, hey, there's a curio over here, and then somebody watching you is like, oh, okay, cool. So then they go in there, they put the marker down as like a chest icon or something like that, and then they just run or fast travel as close to it. Considering Black Myth Wukong has only been out since the end of August as of the time of recording this, and it's getting such a massive update like this, also with an almost guaranteed full DLC in early 2025, it's safe to say game science is cooking so hard, and I am here for it. Of course, that's not all, so now let's talk about the armor. In celebration of Chinese New Year, the Destined one can head to any shrine and click on the Trailblazer's gift tab, and you'll be greeted with a full armor set. The design of it looks really cool, and I do also like the fact that the eyes blink. I'd also like to take this moment to say that Black Myth Wukong is an absolutely stunning game. That's all. But as for other changes, something else this update features is new music library functions, since some of the tracks are not available for export due to copyright restrictions. And also there's tons of bug fixes with bosses and NPCs and whatnot, which is always amazing to see. And if you'd like to read up on all the details of the patch notes, I'll leave a link to them in the description down below. Your time is incredibly valuable, so thank you very much for spending any of it watching and or listening to me talk about the massive changes coming to Black Myth Wukong within this update. Please also let me know your thoughts on this update in the comments down below. Do you love it? Do you hate it? Could they have done better? And also, if you made it this far into the video, thank you very much. I appreciate you greatly. And with your comment, drop a food emoji of your choosing, and then I'll be sure to thank you personally. I'll see you in the comments, and of course, I'll see you in the next Black Myth Wukong video. Have an awesome rest of your day, Destined One.